Hi, today's video is all about the new Sony A7V from the perspective of a long-term A7 IV user. So as you're probably aware of now, this is the new Sony A7V. Start with a little bit about the specs and I'll tell you how these specs affect me. So it's got a 33 megapixel partially stacked sensor. In use, yes, it is a lot faster. The A7 IV, as it's well known, the sensor was quite slow, which did affect me a few times, especially if I was walking around trying to take pictures or film things. Also, I think because it's faster as well, it helps with the autofocus. I do find this generally a much better experience filming. You really do notice a difference in the speed of the readout. About 14 milliseconds, I think it is, compared to, I think it was like something crazy like 27 or 30 milliseconds or something like that. You do notice the difference in this. It's more than twice as fast. It's got a new processor, which you do notice straight away. As soon as you turn it on, it's quicker. The menu's quicker to use. The speed of the camera, much faster. Of course, with the new AI chip, the autofocus is fantastic. Same as the ZV-E1 I'm recording on now, that has a fast autofocus. This does too. In fact, I think this is a little bit more sticky as well, and it locks on very quickly, which is good, even using third-party lenses. There's a lot more autofocus modes now. You've got the animals, birds, humans, and so on you had before, but now you have insects and cars and planes, that kind of thing. It can choose automatically for you as well. Though I did try that once in the middle of London and it jumped to a bus rather than the person. But hey, you can switch it to people and so on, or leave it on auto, whatever you want. I haven't tried the fast burst shooting it has on this. With the mechanical shutter, it's the same speed as before, but if you go into digital shutter, it's much faster. It's 30 frames a second burst speed for taking pictures, which is incredibly fast compared to the A7 IV, and you don't get the banding that you got before. Because you don't get the rolling shutter so much as you got before, this actually works out a lot better. The video, it looks pretty much the same to me. I haven't seen a big difference yet, but I've only had it a few days, so I've got to experiment more with it. Because of the faster readout, you don't get the rolling shutter, which is a big jump for me. Also, when you go into slow motion modes or the SQ mode, you can now switch it so it's full frame at 50 or 60 frames per second, which is really good. You can also do 100 or 120 frames a second with the crop mode, which is very, very good as well. I do use that quite a lot, the 120, but I'm happy to go to 50 or 60. Half speed's absolutely fine for me. I'm in the UK, so I more than likely will use 50. As I use power standard. So the menu's pretty much the same. There's just more of everything. So when I was setting this up, I wanted to set up to very similar button layout and menus as I have in the A7 IV. And so the menus are pretty much what they were before, but more of everything, which can be a little bit confusing. So I had to go through things carefully to get the same settings as before, and a few extra things like pre-capture. I'll go into that in a second. And you also have buttons, quick menus as well. Something I noticed on the A7 IV and also with this, it gets very hot when you're setting up the menus, which is a very strange thing. The camera heats up more. This didn't overheat. My A7 IV did give me a warning light when I was setting it up. So I can already tell the thermals are much better on this. As I said a moment ago, it's got pre-capture. If you set pre-capture, this is only in digital shutter, but if you set pre-capture, you can have up to a second where it's recording continuously. So when you hit the button fully for the photo, it will record beforehand, which is very good for wildlife, especially with catching birds. If it's about to do something like catch a fish or something like that, then you can capture that moment a lot easier, which is a really nice feature to have. For the video mode in low light, in S-Log3 Cine, it's got the standard 800, and then it's, I think 8000 is the second ISO range. I'll put what it is here. So I've got it set to 800 and 8000. I will do some more tests on that. I haven't really had a chance to do that yet, as this is a first impressions video. So the big features for me, the screen. The screen's amazing. Not only does it flip out as before, but it flips out, if we can get this way as well. And the good thing about it flipping out this way is when I'm filming, it's actually a lot easier to have it behind the camera like this, rather than flip to the side like this, and then filming like this. Even though it's manageable, I do prefer to have it flipped to the back and then pulled out like this. And there's a couple of times where I've looked underneath and had it like this as well. The screen on the back for me is a massive difference, a really, really big difference that I was really hoping for, and they've implemented it. Faster readout, that was the other thing I was really hoping for. The new autofocus, which they've done and surpassed I think what I've already got on the ZV-E1 and other cameras, and the 60 or 50 frames a second where that now doesn't crop unless you do change the mode. So when you first try it, it crops in a little bit, but you can change it so in higher ISOs it doesn't have the noise removal, which for me is a good thing. I wish I could turn off all the noise removal using the camera anyway and then add it in post. I also think the colours look slightly better on this as well. Not a huge difference. Slowly Sony updates their colours, so it's not really a big difference, but there is a difference in the colours. I have to say as well, it's got an auto white balance feature. I don't use that so much on video, but on photography it's really been improved a lot. So apparently they're using the AI chip now to find the white balance, and I have noticed a big difference. Much better than auto white balance before. Normally I'd set the white balance manually, but now with photography I'm willing to let the camera choose for me, which for me is quite a big jump and also very handy. Normally I do everything manually. Video I still will, because I don't want it to jump while I'm filming something. So I normally will set it an idea of what I want it, or use a grey card, something like that. A few things I've noticed with it as well is the screen is amazing to use. It's bigger, but there's a big bezel at the bottom, so even though it is bigger and the capture on the screen is bigger, it looks bigger than it actually is because of that bezel at the bottom. So that's a bit cheeky, but I think it's so you can pull it out at the bottom without covering the screen or pressing it by mistake. The stabilization is noticeably better. Just hand holding it, I haven't switched it into active. I've just been using it in standard stabilization quite a lot. I haven't tried walking around with it as much, but what I have tried, it is noticeably better. You've got the different stabilization mode, video mode, you've got standard active, and you've got dynamic active, which is the new AI feature. But a lot of the time, I've just left it in standard. I found it works really well for me like that. Something I don't like is the feel of the shutter button. So they've changed a few things. They've got a new shutter button. And on the shutter button, because of pre-capture, you haven't got the click you had before. It feels very bouncy. And that's something, for a personal feel, I don't like. But when you're using it, once you hit a photo, or you hit it on for video, because I set the shutter button to activate video as well, it does give you a little bit of feedback, so you can feel a little bit of vibration, and also with the sound as well, it does feel like you're pressing a manual button. But when it's switched off and you press it, yeah, you kind of feels a bit cheap, to be honest. It's not a huge thing and I've got used to it already, but something I noticed straight away. Apparently the grip's different. I sold my A7 IV a little while ago. Picking this up, it feels very similar. So that's my first impressions of the new Sony A7 V. I like it. It's something I was getting ready to upgrade for a little while. I sold my A7 IV. I sold some other bits and pieces ready for this. I know there's been a lot of things on the internet about it not being able to record straight at 6 or 7K. It'd be nice, but it's my run and gunning camera, so 4K is fine for that for me. It's got a very nice image. It's the standard Sony image. It's the same as the A7 IV. Maybe with a bit better dynamic range I'm hearing, but I have to test that myself. So I know what to expect. I know the image, the colors are slightly better. I wasn't looking for a 6 or 7K camera anyway, because it uses up far too much data. I want to have that memory card last for a little while. I know also the open gate drama. For me, if it had open gate, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be happy with it. It's handy for reframing, handy for anamorphics. I would like it if Sony, when they bring out their next batch of cinema cameras, if they can have open gate in it, for anamorphic support. For reframing, I don't really do a lot of shorts and so on and stuff for Instagram, but I might do in future. But at the end of the day, I don't mind cropping it on here. Ready for that. That's not a big deal for me, but other people it is. So again, it'd be a nice feature to have, but it didn't stop me buying the camera, put it that way. And for RAW support, again, that'd be nice. And throwing some good LUTs, I would have thought as well. Apart from that, first impressions, I'm happy. It's not an exciting camera coming from the A7 IV, but it's a needed camera coming from the A7 IV. What I mean by that is it just works. That's my first impressions of the new Sony A7 V. If you've got any questions, please do put them in the comments below. I know it's a new camera and people are going to ask me about it, so please ask away. I'll be happy to answer if I can. Obviously, I don't know everything. I don't have it for every camera and every lens, but if I can answer your question, I will. If I can't, I'll let you know. And of course, you can make comments about OpenGate as much as you like. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to see you soon in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.